Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about the various steps of data manipulation. The main process of data manipulation involves three steps: fetching or retrieving the instruction in data from memory, decode it and then execute the instruction upon the data specified. To have a clear idea about the execution, the computational instructions must be closely examined. This module describes the arithmetic and logic instruction. In this module, a brief description on the communication of computer with peripheral devices is also given. Arithmetic and logic instruction. This instruction consists of arithmetic, logic and shift operations. Arithmetic operation can be applied on numerical values to add, subtract, multiply or divide. The logic operations are basically the operations performed by logic gates, and the main operations are AND, OR, NOT and XOR. Moving the bits within registers is commonly referred to as shift or rotate operations. Arithmetic operations. The basic arithmetic operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, but subtraction is performed by negating and adding. Multiplication is repeated addition and division is repeated subtraction. Hence, smaller CPUs are designed with only add instruction or only add and subtract instructions. Different varieties of instructions exist for arithmetic operation. Though these operations are applied on numerical values, the techniques differ for integers and floating point values. For integers, it requires the column by column addition, which is a straightforward method. But for floating point values, it should first extract the mantissa of each, shift them right or left according to the exponent field, check the sign bits and then perform the addition. Again, these steps are to be performed in reverse to store the result in floating point notation. Since each value is internally stored in 2's complement form, it is a bit complex procedure. Thus, both operations are said to be addition, but the procedure varies according to the type. Logic operations. The logic operations such as AND, OR and XOR combine two input bits to produce a single output bit. Logical AND. The symbol dot is used for logical AND operator. The logical AND operator can be defined by listing all possible combinations of logical variables A and B and the resulting values of Boolean variable C in the equation A dot B equals C. The truth table for a logical AND is given below. Logical OR. The symbol plus is used for logical addition. The OR operation can be defined by listing all possible combinations of Boolean variables A and B and the resulting values of the Boolean variable C in the equation A plus B equals C. The truth table for logical OR is as follows. Logical XOR. The XOR or exclusive OR produces an output of 1 for odd numbers of 1's in the input. It is normally denoted by the symbol rounded plus. The truth table for the XOR operation is given below. These operations can be extended to operations that combine two strings of bits to produce a single output string by applying the basic operation to individual column bits. For example, by adding the bit patterns 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 and 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 results in 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 and 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 results in 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. The OR operation and XOR operation can be performed on two strings of bits in the same manner. 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 or 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 results 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 and 100101110 XOR 1000110 results 0001110. An important use of the AND operation is for placing zeros in one part of a bit pattern without disturbing the other part. For example, if the byte 11110000 is the first operand of an AND operation, without considering the contents of the second operand, we can conclude that the 4 most significant bits of the result will be a copy of the part of the second operand, and the 4 least significant bits of the result will be zeros. That is 11110000 and 01010101 gives 01010000. This use of the AND operation is an example for masking. Here, one operand called the mask determines which part of the other operand will affect the result. Masking produces a partial replica of one of the operands with non-duplicated positions occupying zeros. Masking is useful when manipulating a bitmap. Bitmap is a string of bits in which each bit represents the presence or absence of a particular object. Bitmaps are mainly used for representing images. The bitmaps used in a memory cell are used to find out whether the object associated with a particular bit from the high order n, for example, the 4th bit is present. It just needs to AND the entire byte with the mask 00010000, which produces a byte of all zeros if and only if the 4th bit from the high order end of the bitmap is itself 0. If the second bit from the high order end of the bitmap is a 1 and we want to change it to a 0 without disturbing the other bits, we can AND the bitmap with the mask 10111111 and then store the result. As the AND operation can be used to duplicate a part of a bit string by placing zeros in the non-duplicated part, the OR operation can be used to duplicate a part of a string while putting ones in the non-duplicated part. For this, the mask will have zeros for those bits to be duplicated and ones for the non-duplicated positions. For example, ORing 11110000 produces ones in its most significant 4 bits, while the remaining bits have a copy of the least significant 4 bits of the other operand, that is 11110000 or 10101010 results 11111010. XOR operation is used in forming the complement of a bit string. XORing any byte with a mask of all ones produces the complement of the byte. Example 11111111 XOR 10101011 produces 01010100. Shift and rotate operations. These operations provide a means for moving bits within a register and are often used in solving alignment problems. These operations are classified by the direction of motion, right or left, and whether the process is circular. Consider a register containing a byte of bits. If it is shifted by 1 bit to the rightmost bit will fall off the edge and a hole appears at the leftmost end. Hence, the extra bit at the right end is placed in the hole at the left end. The result is a circular shift or a rotation. Another technique is discard the bit that falls off the edge and always fill the hole with a 0. This is referred to as logical shift. Such shift to the left can be used for multiplying 2's complement representations by 2. Just as left shift of decimal digits correspond to multiplication by 10, shifting binary digits to the left corresponds to multiplication by 2. Division by 2 can be accomplished by shifting the binary strings to the right, but while shifting, the sign bit will be preserved. Hence, the shifts that leave the sign bit unchanged are sometimes called arithmetic shifts. But numerous variations exist for each arithmetic operation. Computer peripheral communication. The main memory and the CPU are considered to be the core of a computer. This core communicates with a wide variety of peripheral devices like mass storage systems, keyboards, mouse, printers, monitors, etc. and other computer. The peripherals connected to a computer need special communication links for interfacing them with the CPU because there exists difference between the CPU and the peripheral devices. The main differences are: peripherals are electromechanical and electromagnetic devices and their manner of operation is different from the operation of the electronic devices like CPU and memory. Therefore, a conversion of signal values is required. The data transfer rate of peripherals is usually slower than the transfer rate of the CPU and thus a synchronization mechanism may be needed. Data codes and formats in peripheral differ from the word format in the CPU and memory. The operating modes of peripherals are different from each other and each must be controlled so as not to disturb the operation of other peripherals connected to the CPU. To resolve these differences, computer systems include special hardware components between the CPU and peripherals to supervise and synchronize all input and output transfers. These components are called interface unit because they interface between the processor and the peripheral devices. Controller. Communication between a computer and other devices is handled through an intermediator called controller. The controller may consist of circuitry permanently mounted on the computer's motherboard, or it may be in the form of a circuit board that plugs into a slot on the motherboard. The controller connects through cables to peripheral devices or to some connector called ports. A controller translates messages and data back and forth between forms compatible with the internal characteristics of the computer and those of the peripheral device to which it is connected. Now, it has developed some standards such as USB and FireWire so that a single controller is able to handle a variety of devices rather than a different controller for each type of devices. Each controller communicates with the computer by means of the same bus that connects the computer CPU and main memory. With this arrangement, the CPU is able to communicate with the controller attached to the bus in the same way as with main memory. Direct memory access or DMA. The controller is attached to a computer's bus and it can carry out its communication with main memory during only those times when the CPU is not using the bus. This ability is a significant factor for the computer's performance and is called the direct memory access or DMA. By this, the CPU can execute a program while the controller transfers data between the disk and the main memory. Thus, the computer resources of the CPU are not wasted during data transfer, which is relatively a slow process. Handshaking. The transfer of data between two computer components is often a two-way dialogue known as handshaking. Here, the computer and the peripheral device exchange information about the device status and coordinate their activities. The status word is a bit pattern that is generated by the peripheral device and sent to the controller. The status word often reflects the conditions of the device. The status word is actually a bitmap and depending on the system, the controller responds to this status information itself or make it available to the CPU. Hence, the status word provides a mechanism to coordinate the communication with the peripheral devices. Modes of communication. Communication between computing devices is handled over two types of path, with parallel and serial. These refer to the manner in which signals are transferred from one to the other. In parallel communication, several signals are transferred at the same time using separate lines. Parallel communication is useful of transferring data rapidly but requires a relatively complex communication path. Data transfer through computer's internal bus is an example for this type of communication. Serial communication is the other type of data transfer which is based on transferring signals one after the other over a single line. Serial communication is popular because the data path is simpler than parallel communication. USB, Firewire and Ethernet connections by wire or radio broadcast are popular for serial communication system for shorter distances. For longer distances, traditional voice telephone lines are commonly used. The transfer of digital data over these lines is accomplished by first converting bit patterns into audible tones with the help of a modem, then serially transfers these tones over the telephone system and convert the tones back into bits by another modem. For high quality long distance communication, DSL or the digital subscriber line is the service provided by the telephone companies. DSL uses frequencies above the audible range to transfer digital data while leaving the lower frequency spectrum for voice communication. Other systems are cable television systems and satellite links through radio broadcast. Other architectures. There are some alternatives to the traditional machine architecture. Some of them are pipelining. Increasing only the execution speed may not improve a computer's performance. The actual goal is to improve the machine's throughput, which is the total amount of work the machine can accomplish in a given amount of time. Increasing throughput without an increase in execution speed involves pipelining. It is the technique of allowing the steps in the machine cycle to overlap. That is, while one instruction is being executed, the next instruction can be fetched, which means that more than one instruction can be in the pipe at any time, each at a different stage of being processed. As a result, the total throughput of the machine is increased even when the time required to fetch and execute each individual instruction remained the same. Modern machine designs use pipelining as capable of fetching several instructions at the same time and actually executing more than one instructions at a time. Multiprocessor machines. Pipelining can be viewed as a first approach toward parallel processing, but it actually needs more than one processing unit for actually need the performance of several activities at the same time. Today, a variety of computers are made using this idea. One technique is to attach several processing units, each as the CPU in a single processor machine, to the same main memory. Here, processor can proceed independently while coordinating their actions by leaving messages to one another in the shared memory cell. The traditional architecture is single instruction stream, single data stream or SISD architecture, in which a single processor executes a single instruction stream to operate on data stored in a single memory. There is an architecture called MIMD or multiple instruction stream, multiple data stream, in which when one processor is faced with a large task, it will store a program for part of that task in the common memory and then request another processor to execute it. Another multiprocessor architecture that link the processor together so that they execute the same sequence of instructions in unison, each with its own set of data. This is the single instruction stream, multiple data stream architecture. These are useful in applications in which same task must be applied to each set of similar items within a large block of data. Another approach to parallel processing is to construct large computers as combinations of smaller machines, each with its own memory and CPU. Within such an architecture, each of the small machines is arranged with its neighbor such that tasks assigned to the system can be divided among the individual machines. The original task can then be completed in much less time than would be required by a single processor machine. The manipulation of data involves different kinds of computational operations. The processing of data is carried out mainly by the operation within the ALU. Hence, this module gives an overview of the different operations such as arithmetic and logic operations along with shift operation. This module also covers the various components and techniques involved in the communication between computer and peripheral devices such as controller, DMA and handshaking. This module concludes by referring to the different processor architectures. 1. What are the different arithmetic operations performed by the ALU? Second, what are the logic operations that can be performed with an ALU? Third, what are the importance of logical exclusive OR? Fourth, compare the rotate and shift operations. Fifth, what is the role of a controller in communication with peripheral devices? Next, compare between serial and parallel communications. 7. What is meant by pipelining? Hope you enjoy this session. See you next time. Until then, bye.